What's going on, everyone? This is Jeremy at the Jeremy Sandell on Instagram. Really, today I'm just going to get together with you guys on what you need to know before dropshipping in 2020. There's really only a handful of things. I'm going to start with what's most important, and that is mindset. Has nothing to do with dropshipping specifically. This is about business in general. Your mindset is more of a determining factor in the success of your business than anything else. Look, when it comes down to it, you're always going to have competitors. There's always going to be other products. Somebody's always going to be cheaper. There's always going to be, maybe somebody has more colors or more flavors, or somebody, sells it while they stand on their head. There's always going to be something else going on in the marketplace. What's going to differentiate you from somebody else is your mindset, what it is you are bringing to the table, but also, your ability to ignore stuff that doesn't help you. I'll give you a perfect example of this, right? So a few years ago, I started an advertising agency, and when I started it, I was already running a successful insurance business. I was making more money than I'd ever made before. I was like, damn, I'm going to make $100,000 this year. I'm going to be rich, right? Because I didn't know anything. I was like, this my first real business. I'm making money. I'm like, I'm a badass. I'm doing good. And then there was a rate change in insurance. And basically what that meant was all of my customers were now paying 3 times what they were a month earlier for the same products. Then I wasn't rich anymore. Then my car got towed. So I had 2 cars. One of them was broke down. So that car got stolen. The car that wasn't broken down was repoed. I was driving Lyft, and I was taking Ty's social media marketing agency course. I was like, you know what? I got to do something else. I had to take control of my life. Now, I didn't know this until after the fact, but when I made this decision and I talked to some of my friends and family about it, there were multiple people that basically said to somebody in my family, you need to talk to Jeremy. I think he's lost his mind. Nobody's going to pay him to run ads on Facebook for them. Nobody's going to do that. People don't do that stuff, right? Now, 3 years later, none of those people make more money than me, and money isn't the only thing. But when it comes to business, you don't have a business if you don't make money, right? So, you're always going to have somebody trying to say, you can't do that, you won't be successful, this and that. There's always going to be these hands reaching out of the mud, trying to keep you down, right? Trying to hold you down and keep you from escaping, the monotonous fate that a lot of people just accept. And that's unfortunate for them. For you, you have to be smarter. You have to know, first of all, it's going to be hard sometimes. And I can tell you guys, both at the beginning of starting my agency and multiple times a year, especially now that I work with Ty and some of his businesses, I can tell you guys, there's going to be days that you work 16 to 20 hours, get 4 hours of sleep, get up and work another 16 to 20, get 2 or 3 hours of sleep, do it all over again. That's going to happen. Sometimes it's going to be really hard. It is. Anybody who tells you it isn't, don't listen to them. They're lying. Now, the thing is, it's fun. It's exciting, right? When you're chasing something really big, when you have big goals and aspirations, you have this picture and this video almost, in your mind of what life's really going to be like and how it should be for you. That's what's going to get you through that stuff. And just knowing everybody has to start somewhere. It takes time. It's gonna be rough getting going. Now, the cool thing is with drop shipping in particular, it's very low cost, right? You don't have to buy a product until a customer has already paid you for the product. That's a good deal because you only have to spend some money to get in front of people, right? If you could just run outside and start yelling and people would buy your stuff, you wouldn't even have to spend that. But that's just not how it works, right? You have to spend the advertising money. You have to get in front of people. Now, some of the things that you're going to run into, I want to make sure I address in this video so that you guys know, and so that people who have your best interest at heart but are just too dumb to know what that means are going to say to you. And I mean that in the most respectful way possible, because some of these people are going to be friends and family. There are a lot of people that are going to say dropshipping is a scam. And they'll mean one or two things: either that you are scamming people by finding products on AliExpress, as an example, and selling them for 5 to 15 times the cost. They're going to say you are a bad person for doing that. At the same time, those people are going to go buy one of these things from a company that uses slave labor to create them, right? So probably don't listen, right? Nobody in their right mind would buy a product and sell it at the same cost, because there's a cost to running a business, right? You have to have a website, you have to run ads, you have to pay yourself, you have to pay your employees. As you start to grow, you're going to need people to help you, right? Most people will not become millionaires by themselves. It's just not going to happen. You're going to eventually need people, right? You have to pay people. You have to give people the opportunity to live the life they want too, right? I have a girl in my team. She's phenomenal. She's been with me almost since I started my business. She doesn't ever want to run a business. She likes being in that number 2 spot. No responsibility and all the upside, right? She's like, I will help, I will work hard, but I don't want to deal with any of the, when the you know what hits the fan, right? Like, she's just like, I don't want that. That's not what I'm looking for. You're going to find people that will help you. So, you know, to sell a product for more than you buy it for is what entrepreneurship is, right? Like, that's just what it is. Amazon does it. Walmart does it. Every business you buy something from gets it for cheaper than they sell it to you at. So don't let people talk you into this, that you're a scam artist, that you're scamming people. That's baloney, right? Now, the flip side of that is they'll say dropshipping is a scam, as in, you know, it's, you can't do it and make money. You can't build a sustainable income from that. You can't become financially free doing it or financially independent doing it. And that's also a lie. And the thing about it is, the biggest benefit of doing any kind of drop shipping is that it costs hardly nothing to start, right? You spend $100 on Shopify, you spend a few bucks a day running ads on Facebook and Instagram. Maybe you get really creative and jump on Hulu's platform or some other platform that's opening up, you know, and you're able to start generating sales, right? And Dan Fleischman at one of the seminars I went to very early on in my career, one of the things he said was, like, don't start a business when you need money, right? So if you're broke right now, like, get another job and use your extra money to, like, build a big fire, right? That's what a business is. It's like a big fire in the middle of the desert that you're just trying to enjoy this amazing bonfire. You're like, I want this thing to be as big as possible. I want everyone to see this, right? This is going to be amazing. That's what you're doing with your business. So keep dumping the cash in so that you can grow it as fast as possible and get where you're trying to go. And that's really another of the biggest benefits of doing drop shipping is you're not limited, right? It's not like a retail store. You only have so much space in a retail store to sell from, and that's it. There's no limit. You could have thousands of products that you never have to store. In fact, you never even have to see them except for pictures. You talk to your suppliers and you see, you know, what the product looks like. Otherwise, you don't ever have to do anything physical with the products. You just have to get people to buy it. Now, this brings up a really important point, and you'll hear this a lot when you're telling people what you're doing, which is they'll say to you, well, why wouldn't people just buy it off of Amazon? That's a good question, right? Why wouldn't they? Amazon is amazing when it comes to shipping. Usually it's really cheap. If you pay $14 a month, you don't have to pay shipping on any of your packages, right? So there's a lot of benefits to buying from Amazon. Why would they buy from you? Well, if you look at the research out there, 44% of Americans said that within the last 3 months, they made a random impulse purchase. Randomly, they just saw something, they're like, oh wow, I like that, I want to buy it. And in certain age groups, like millennials as an example, that number is as high as 80%. I can tell you, I've personally done that in the last few months. Here, let me show you guys something. I'll go ahead and share my screen with you, because I want to give you guys an idea of this that you can see visually. So I already have Amazon and Walmart both pulled up here. And these are both, for the most part, a big chunk of their business is drop shipping, right? Amazon allows people to sell their products through their platform from their locations. Amazon will also help to store that stuff for you too, but then you pay Amazon for the storage, you make less money. But it's more convenient, right? Because then you don't have to store this stuff. But if you look, let's just scroll down a little bit. So you can see a lot of this is really personalized to me. I wear a lot of gym clothes, so they're like, hey, buy more gym clothes. Read a lot of books, so they're showing me books I might like. And, this is all great. But what happens to Amazon if I'm not here? I don't watch television, so I wouldn't see any of their advertisements on television. I would never see anything from Amazon if I didn't go on their website regularly. So yeah, could people go buy this off of Amazon? Maybe you sell, I don't know, maybe you sell women's multivitamins, right? Could they go on Amazon and buy these? Sure. But what if they had never heard of this before seeing it? Do you think people really care that much? People will see it, and you might say, hey, look, I'm cheap, man. I'm always going to find the best deal. That's not who you're selling to. Don't sell to cheap people. Sell to people who buy what they want. Because that's what you should do, right? If you want to live a good life, you should get the things that you want. And as a business owner, you get to do that for other people. You get to give people what they want. And sometimes, I think Steve Jobs said this, and if I'm not phrasing it exactly, I'll paraphrase at least. He said that he gives people what they want before they know what they want, right? Who knew that they wanted an iPod before Apple introduced the iPod? Nobody knew, there were some MP3 players here and there, but it wasn't great. It was bad. Most of them were garbage. You could get 15, 20 songs. It's the same as having a CD player. And then Apple's like, hey, let's put 1,000 songs in your pocket. Nobody knew that they wanted that. That wasn't something that people were really sitting around talking about at the dinner table. Honey, I was on my jog earlier and I really wish I could have listened to all 10,000 of the songs I've heard in my life and enjoyed them. Nobody was really thinking about it. But what happened in the marketplace? Everybody lost their minds because it was the greatest thing ever. It was like, I can have all of the music I love with me everywhere I go and it fits inside my pocket. Why wouldn't I want that? So as a business owner, the advantage you have over Amazon is people only know it's here if they go here. And there are billions, to quote Donald Trump, right? Billions and billions and billions of products out there that people don't know anything about. And they see it for the first time and they say, oh, wow, I really like that. Or, wow, I know somebody that would really like that. So can people buy it off Amazon? Sure, they sure can. But if they've never heard of it before, 44% of Americans, that's a pretty good number. Almost half of Americans in the last 3 months made an impulse purchase. So you can bet on that. Now, one other thing about dropshipping, and people are going to tell you that the market is saturated. And this is part of that whole mindset thing. I'll give you an example from the agency world because I'm very familiar with it, but it's totally relevant. Every single year that I've run an agency, somebody has asked me, but isn't it saturated now? Even when I first started 3 years ago, right? When the social media marketing agency course first came out, it's like the end of 2016, beginning of 2017. There were people asking me when I first started, isn't it saturated? And I was like, no. And the thing is, what you have to do in your mind is you have to decide who you're going to compete with, because 80% or more of the businesses that exist today will be gone in a year. They're just going to be gone. They're going to fail. They're going to give up. They're not even really going to try a lot of the time. Most people start a business for like a month. How many of your friends can you think of? They started some network marketing business and a month later, they're just like, yeah, that network marketing thing, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. No, you don't work, man. Come on. Don't mess around like that. You try for a month and it didn't work. You know, if a baby stopped trying to walk after a month, I mean, come on, really. So when it comes to drop shipping, when it comes to any industry, 99% of industries out there are not too saturated. Look around you. Everywhere you see a fast food restaurant, there's 4 of them. Everywhere you see a Starbucks, there's 4 more Starbucks, and then there's like 3 different other coffee shops. Gas stations, candy bars. I mean, you go to a gas station counter and there's like 50 different candy bars just while you're trying to pay for your gas. All those candy bars, a lot of those businesses have actually been around for a really long time. Imagine if somebody had said, you know what, candy bars are a scam. The candy bar market is just, it's too saturated. People don't want to eat different kinds of candy bars. And the last thing I want to bring up for you guys is all of the biggest businesses in the world, Amazon, Walmart. I mean, if you look at this, these guys don't create products. You know, I mean, Apple creates products. That's a good example of a company that does. So does Microsoft. But I mean, look at this. Amazon. How much of this is from Amazon? Like none of it. Amazon did get a little bit into the game of like some of the consumables, but that's just a result of them being so big that anybody who can get a deal with Amazon wants it. Otherwise, you know, they don't sell any of their own stuff. They don't make this. I mean, they're a wholesaler. They buy things at wholesale and they sell it at retail. And most of the time, they don't even pay for this stuff until after you pay them. Walmart, same deal. A lot of this stuff is coming in from China. And, you know, there's really only ever one time that you should be thinking about this, and it's when you're doing your market research. You should be saying to yourself, what are my competitors doing? What are they not doing? And how do I get in and create my own niche inside of that industry? Because ultimately somebody's doing whatever it is you want to do, no matter what it is you want to do. There's really no industry that hasn't been explored. Your job is to figure out how you can give your customers something that nobody else is doing for them. If you look hard enough and you try hard enough and you put enough time into it, you'll find it. But when it comes down to drop shipping in 2020, especially with the pandemic, you guys are in the right place, because there's never been a time like right now to be selling products online. If you just look around, all of these brick and mortar businesses are going out of business. Phenomenal time to start, because you can show up when everyone else is just like leaving. Everybody's exiting while you're showing up.